Is the Sabbath just one day of the week? Or a hidden mystery of salvation? What if its true meaning is deeper than we've been taught for years? The Church teaches that the words of the Decalogue, remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy, Exodus 28, are among the most fundamental commandments. They are not merely an external obligation, but an invitation into a relationship with God, to live according to the rhythm of grace, not merely of work. At the same time, the Bible shows that man, left to himself, does not seek God. So is the Sabbath an invitation, or a revelation of something far deeper. 1. The Sabbath in the Old Testament, a gift and a sign of the covenant. 6 days shalt thou labor, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. Exodus 29-10. For Israel the Sabbath was more than rest. It was a sign of the covenant. And remember that thou wast a servant in the land of Egypt. Deuteronomy 5:15. The Sabbath pointed to two realities: the creation of the world, Genesis 2:2-3. Deliverance from bondage. It is a day of freedom, a moment when man ceases to be a slave to work and becomes a child of God. Spiritually, it points to freedom from the bondage of sin and the gift of a new heart. Ezekiel 36:26. 2. Jesus and the new understanding of the Sabbath. The Sabbath was made for man, Mark 2:27. The Son of Man is Lord also of the Sabbath, Mark 2:28. Jesus shows that the Sabbath is not a burden but a gift. By healing on the Sabbath, Luke 13:10-17, he reveals its true meaning: a day of life, a day of mercy, a day of forgiveness of sins. In this light, healings become a picture of salvation, not by works but by grace. 3. Sunday, the Christian Lord's Day. Christians celebrate Sunday, the day of the resurrection. Now upon the first day of the week, very early in the morning, they came unto the sepulchre, Luke 24:1. It is the day of new creation and the victory of life over death. From the earliest times, disciples gathered then for the breaking of bread, Acts 27. Spiritually, the Sabbath and Sunday do not have to contradict each other. Both point to salvation as a gift of grace and spiritual resurrection. 4. The meaning of keeping the Lord's Day holy. The Church teaches that the commandment is fulfilled through the Eucharist, rest, and doing good. Yet a tension appears. On one hand, a prohibition of work. On the other, a call to do good. This raises the question, does keeping it holy really consist in refraining from work? Spiritually, it points to something deeper, recognizing that salvation does not depend on human effort. It is a gift from God, independent of our works. 5. The Sabbath rest, a deeper meaning. There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of God. Hebrews 4:9. This rest is not merely physical. It is an image of salvation by grace, entering into God's work, which has already been accomplished. Man, enslaved by sin, cannot save himself. It is God who acts, bringing him out of spiritual bondage, just as he once brought Israel out of Egypt. The symbolism is profound. Jesus' rest in the tomb on the Sabbath, his resurrection, literally the passage from death to life. All of this points to one truth: salvation is God's work, not human achievement. A law focused on works can lead to the illusion of self-salvation. That is why Jesus was accused when he acted on the Sabbath, because he revealed grace that transcends the law. The true Sabbath rest is entering into God's grace, Hebrews 4:1-11. The Sabbath is not just a day of the week. It is a sign of spiritual freedom, the grace of God, the salvation of the elect. It is not only about what you do or do not do. It is about whether you recognize God's work in your life. If this message has opened a new perspective on the Sabbath, not as an obligation, but as a spiritual reality, subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for the next episodes.